What's cracking, ladies and gents? We are back, and today we are doing the first mods for the Type R FK2 Civic. Now today I'm going to be covering 4 mods that you should be looking to do on your FK2 Type R Civic when you first get one, if they've not been done already. As well as that, we are going to be doing one of these mods today because we have got the parts that we needed for it. So we're going to be covering what that mod is, showing you how to do it and getting it done. And then we're going to be talking about the other ones and seeing if my Civic needs them today or whether it might just need them in the future. Now, I've had the Civic a while and I've been on quite a few forums, and this is where I've been finding out about this information. And a lot of what we're doing today is going to be looking at maintenance things. And if these issues go wrong, then obviously there's things like boost leak we can get, but one of them is actually that it can cause issues with the head gasket. So that is why I want to cover this today in this video, because if you've bought an FK2 you might not know about this and it might be something you want to get checked ASAP. Okay, so everything that we're talking about today is under the engine bay, and I've popped the engine bay open. And number one, the first thing that we're going to be talking about that you want to look at doing is changing your radiator hoses. So you can see here, this one here, mine's actually pretty rusty, which we've already had a look at and we know it needs doing. And there are 4 of these that you need to get done. Now, I haven't gone and bought them because Gary, who looks after the Evo, will obviously be looking at this when we go to tune it, is going to be having the car for it very, very soon, and he will be replacing these for me. But if you need to get them from somewhere and you need to get everything what we're going to be talking about from somewhere, we've got just the place for you. Now, this isn't sponsored or anything, this is just me giving a company a shout out, but everything we're going to be talking about today has come from Dream Automotive. They do a lot of stuff for FK2s, they actually specialise in them, and the FK8 as well, and the FL5, so pretty much those turbo spec K20 engines that the new Honda Civics do all have. Now, the problem here is that it has been reported, and there's a lot of people saying this on forums as well, that if you do not get these clamps sorted, then what can actually happen is you can have issues with the head gaskets and you can have failures, which is obviously going to be a very expensive thing for some clamps that might cost you 15 to 20 quid for the 4. And like I say, we are going to be getting ours done because, as you can see, that one's pretty bad. That one's sort of starting to rust as well. There's 2 more as well, but we are going to be getting these done, so we're not too worried about that. But it's something definitely that you want to look at as the first maintenance thing for your FK2. Okay, so the next 2 things that you could look at doing, which I'm not going to be doing at the moment because the car seems to be boosting fine, but they are things that you would want to have a look at if the car wasn't boosting right, especially if you're going to be getting it on the dyno, which we are going to be doing soon. So that will give us a great opportunity to see if these things do actually have a problem. So these things are going to be throttle body hose. So this is one from Dream Automotive as well, and these can potentially split on the Honda Civics. So I've got one of these just purely to have it, because when we take it to the dyno day, we'll be able to see if it's boosting okay. If it's not, then this is something we can replace, and again, 20 quid, might as well get it done. The other one is what Dream have created here, which is a boost solenoid, and that slots in all the way down in there, and they can be a little bit fragile. So Dream have basically created this boost solenoid replacement, again 15-20 quid. Again, great to have one. Not going to be getting it done today because the car seems to be running fine, don't seem to have a problem, but on the dyno day, if we have a problem, it's great to have this, and also, like I say, great to have this, just because if things start to go wrong, it means there's 2 things we can replace, which have cost me like 40 quid to see if they are a problem. Nice and simple, yeah? The other one with the throttle body hose replacement is at some point as well, before we go on the dyno, I'm looking to replace my intake. So when this comes off, it's going to make it a little bit easier to get down to the throttle body hose in there. So it's kind of like a job that I'll probably all do at once. So even when we go for the dyno day, we might just still replace this anyway for 20 quid, right? You might as well replace it, but we'll get all of that done at once so that on the day when we're going on the dyno, we know there's not going to be a problem. So the final thing, which is technically seen as a bit of maintenance, but also it's going to actually help to improve the boosting of the car, is going to be this, and that is the T-mod. So the issue with the current setup on the FK2 when it comes standard is that the piping system, which is obviously what the T-mod is for, can be a little bit temperamental and it can split and can go wrong, but also it can cause turbo lag and boost lag with the engine in the FK2. Now, due to these issues, when Honda then brought out the FK8, which is obviously the model after the FK2 here, they actually got rid of that T section, that T-valve section, and made a straight pipe. And what they've now done is for the FK2, you can actually get a replacement kit. So this is what the kit looks like. So it's a genuine Honda part, but I got mine from Dream. So what you get is you basically just get a straight pipe, so just from one end to the other, and that gets rid of that T section. And then you also get a little bung in here, and essentially what that does is where this pipe traces up and under the cover, which we need to take off in a minute when we're going to do the mod, the bung will just bung off the one end under here, and then we remove the T and we essentially put on that straight pipe to replace it, and then that's going to help with reducing any of that turbo lag and improving boost, which is gonna be quite a big thing for when we go on the dyno, and also just improving the performance of the car. But also, like I say, with the issues that the old T-style setup on the FK2 could have had problems, it's also going to be a bit of a maintenance thing. So you're going to get better performance and better maintenance, and it's just going to be so much better, and we're going to get a better dyno run as well. So now all the talking's done, what we're going to do is we're going to get the T-mod done. So the first things we need to do is we need to get this off, we need to get this off, and then we're going to see if we can do it just like that. If we can't, then we have to annoyingly remove the scuttle, but I have seen that some people can do it without removing this, so we're going to see what we can do first. So let's crack on with it. Okay, so we thought that was going to be a little bit easier than it was, but it's not as easy. So we are going to have to remove the whole scuttle panel, but to remove this little cover here was like, it just pops off, there's nothing to be removed. For the rocker cover, it's literally just 4 bolts, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're there, and they are 10mm. So 10mm bolts. It's going to be a lot easier to remove the 2 back ones though when this is off. Then you just have to pop this off. I've started doing that one and that one. Same with this, unclip here. Same with this one, unclip this. And then once those are removed, you come round, you take off the little rubbers, and then I think these are 17mm that I've read online, so they're 17mm nuts that you just need to basically undo to get that off and that off. Take the window wipers off, then take off the rest of the scuttle, and then it will give you full access to where you need to get, which is in there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then I will show you where we are and what we do next. Okay, so we've got that off. As you can see, we've just got to remove this here, which I think is just 1 and 2. I think it's just that metal scuttle panel. I think it's just literally those 2. Maybe there's 2 more back there as well, so it might just be 4, and then we can get access to what we want. But what I want to say is, when you remove this big scuttle, there are these tiny little clips, these things. Okay, there's 3 of them. There's 1 on each side, and then there's 1 in the middle. Luckily that one stayed in. I've got that one as well. I tucked it somewhere. There it is. It's here. Cool. So when you take those off, be careful, because they can ping and go flying. So they literally come out of like just in here. But the only other thing I had a problem with, and this might not happen to anyone else, is the other thing I had an issue with was my wiper blades were stuck. So I had to put some WD-40 on, give them a wiggle, leave it to sort of soak in for a bit, pop them down and up, down and up, down and up, and then eventually when I lifted them up, they actually gave out, and off they came. So we're going to get that metal scuttle off, and then we'll have a look at the goods and show you what you need to do next. Okay, so that is everything off the car that we need off, and it wasn't actually that bad to get that metal scuttle off. It was really easy as well, just 5 10mm bolts, 2 on the left, 2 on the right, 1 in the middle. But I am quite annoyed, because whether it's happened when I was taking it off, I didn't notice anything, or whether it was there, but basically, I don't know if you can see, I've got a crack, there we go, in my windscreen here, but it's not kind of external as if you get a stone chip, it's more like under it. So I don't know how that'll affect. I don't know if I'm going to hit a pothole and that'll just suddenly jagger up, at which point this is going to add like another 100 quid to my mods, but that's annoyed me, but doesn't matter, whatever, it's real life, that's what we like to show. But what I want to show you now is what we're going to be doing and what the T-mod is. So going into the engine bay, if I go at this angle here, I'm trying to get my camera, so you might be able to see this kind of yellowy looking thing here, and then you've got this kind of S-curve. That's part of the T-mod. So basically there's a pipe down here. I don't know how good the lighting is. Let me try and go at a different angle. There's a pipe down here, okay, which is kind of coming in from the engine, okay, and then it's coming up. So what we're doing is we're essentially deleting all this, and then where that pipe inserts into here, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to have a pipe coming from there straight through. Gosh, let's see if I can get the camera in there. There we go. Straight through into where that pipe is, just here. Okay, this little one here. And what we're deleting and basically blanking off is this bit of the pipe. So essentially we're going to have a straight pipe going through, and then this bit, which is essentially then what kind of joins into this breather pipe, is essentially going to be blanked. So that is what we're going to crack on with. It's going to be a bit fiddly, so I'm going to crack on, get that done, show you it's when it's done, and then put it all back together, and then we can go and see how it sounds and see if we get that increase in boost that we are expecting with the mod. Well, that was difficult, but we did get it off in the end, and I'm not going to lie, it's a small space to work in there. It's a bit tricky trying to kind of get to things, and also the hoses were actually on quite kind of well, they were in a way stuck on. So I used a trick that someone said about on a forum. Use a little bit of hot water and then your pliers, because you're not going to be using the piping again, but you are going to need to retain some of the clips. So just to make sure that you're not dropping them in the engine bay, you do need those clips to help put on the new hose. But like I say, that is off. A little bit tricky, but it is off. So let's get the new hose on. We can get the car put back together, we can take it for a drive, and we can see if there's any difference. Now I will say this as well, when you get out the new hose, there is a slightly, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, there's a slightly smaller end. So that's a smaller end, and that's the bigger end. I'm hoping the camera can pick that up. If I turn it around and put it against something. So that's the bigger end, that's the smaller end. So you can see the hole is smaller. Now on the smaller end, when you look at the T-mod, which I have put down somewhere, this is basically the small end, okay, and that small end is essentially this one. Let me put it against something a bit better so we can see. This one here. So essentially it's the small end is going to be that clip, okay, and then the big end is going to be this one here, and then this one here, this is the one that's being made redundant. So that's where you put off that's where you're going to blank it off essentially. So small end, this little clip, and then obviously bigger end is going to be that clip. So just make sure you get that the right way around. Okay, so the T-mod is now on and it's all done. So as you'll be able to see, if I stick the camera in there, you can see there what I've actually done for this one here is I did actually put a little cable tie round, just because the clip felt a little bit loose. I also did that one for the back one down here as well, because that one felt a bit loose. And then you can see the final one, which is just attached, gosh, I can get my fingers in, just under where my finger is. You can see where I've attached that onto there. So that's the T-mod. You can see how that T's been deleted, and then like I say, we've just blanked off that one just to the bottom right of the picture with that little cable tie. There is also the option to, where this is here, you can actually just delete that pipe, and then you can blank it here and you can blank it here. It's not really a necessity, you don't have to do it. The kit comes for pretty much doing it the way that I've done it, so you can just leave it like that. I kind of like the fact it looks a little bit more OEM by leaving that here, whereas if you start deleting it and putting blanking bits on and stuff there, I think it makes it look a little bit more unnatural, but it's up to you. But either way, that is it on. So what we're going to do is we're going to put the car back together and go for a quick drive, because sometimes you can get an engine light come on. That can be resolved by a remap, which we are going to be doing, so I'm not going to be massively worried if that does come on, but we'll take it for a little drive and see if we get some improvement as well, and then go from there pretty much. Okay, so we just got up to running temps and I've given it a little bit of a blip, and to me it sounds louder. It might just be me. It might just be me thinking it. I've not got my music on, which I normally do, so it could be that as well. But we've got a little bit of a straight. So let's give it a little bit of a blip. Drop it down a gear or two. Okay, so we're in third. Let's just give it a pull, see what happens. Wow. Okay. Yeah, that's different. That is different. Wow, okay. Up that Mercedes bum really quickly. That is insane. It's not groundbreaking, but I can see how on a tune this thing's that's gonna help a lot, and there is a difference. I've had this car for quite a few months now. I've given it the beans quite a few times, and what I was trying to watch there was my revs. And when I changed gear, it doesn't drop off as much as it used to. And when I put my foot back on it, it's literally like, it's back on it. Like I say, it's that throttle response and the lack of lag in the turbo, with the lack of, or that without that lagging boost, that's pretty much what's been made up. That is a game changer. Like I say, that's a £20 mod. Insane. Okay, so we've done a pull in normal mode. I'm going to stick it in R mode, and I'm going to see how that changes things as well. But from that first pull there, it feels a lot better. Like I say, the lag feels a lot less. It just feels on it. As soon as you change gear and your foot's back down, it just feels back on it. So we're going to flick it over into R mode. We'll give it a little bit of a pull. Where we are, it's R mode. People say R mode doesn't do anything in the FK2. It does. I'm sorry, it does. It wants to bite already. We'll get onto the straight. It wants to bite my face off right now. So that T mod is clearly has done something. And when I get it on the dyno, that's going to help it make a little bit more power. The boost is going to come in. Like, the tune's going to be able to just be done a lot better. So let's see what we got. We'll drop it down. Fourth, let's give it a pull. Jeez. Oh, wow. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, Nelly. Whoa, calm down. That is sick. That's insane. You can see why they've done that on the FK8. That is an absolute game changer of a mod for what, 20 quid? Literally take away one pipe and just make it a straight pipe through, and that is insane. That is absolutely insane. If you have an FK2, you must do this mod. You must do this modification for £20 and a few scuffs and scrapes on your hands. I don't know if you can see, because I've got a few, or get someone to do it for you. That is immense. Wow, absolute game changer. I can't believe what a £20 mod has done for this car with no tune or anything, and that just makes me get so excited to get this car on the dyno with an intake and the sports cap that I've got waiting to go on as well, which I've mentioned in a previous video. So it's going to be so exciting. So that T-mod makes such a difference to the car. I just can't believe what it's done for it. So like I say, T-mod modification to make it that straight line is going to be great for performance and preventing turbo lag. And if you're not even going to get the car just tuned or anything like that, and you just want to improve how it's going to feel performance wise, just as a normal car, if you're not going to get anything done to it, you'll still notice a massive difference, trust me, and you'll really going to enjoy that change it brings. And then, like I say, all the other things I've mentioned today, definitely have a look at those clamps and the throttle body hose, and like I say, the boost solenoid, something just to keep an eye on as well. I got the parts purely because I wanted to have them on hand for when we do the dyno day. So I'll put a link to Dream in the description box below. Like I've said, it's not a sponsored ad. They've not given me any discounts or anything like that, no special treatment. They're just where I have asked people in forums and they've said go to Dream Automotive, they've got everything you need and they're really, really helpful. So massive shout out to Dream for supplying the parts to me. And obviously, like I say, I think all 4 parts, if you were going to get everything from them, cost you around 80-90 quid. Gary's got the clamps for me, so I don't have to worry about that. But if you want to get all 4 of those parts from Dream, like I say, 80-90 pounds, what an absolute game changer for maintenance and improving performance. So hopefully you've liked this video. It's great to be back doing some modifications, trust me, because I really love it. I really love doing modifications on cars and modifying my own stuff. And when I've looked and asked people who follow me on the channel and who subscribe, it's the things that you guys and girls love the most. You love to see me doing modifications to my own cars and kind of documenting my own journey. So looking to do more of that coming in the future. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe. And it was great to get under the bonnet of this for the first time. Can't wait to get more done to it. Until next time, we'll see you in the next one though. Peace out.